Let me say this without equivocation. If you've been feeling guilty for wanting more, if you've been shrinking what you want because you don't want to sound ungrateful, if you've been talking yourself out of your own desires, this episode is for you. Because the truth is, dreams are not luxuries. Dreams are not extra, and dreams are not something you earn once you've suffered enough. Dreaming is a part of your survival. Dreaming is like air, not because it's always easy, but because without it, something inside of you starts to suffocate. So today we're going to connect what we did in episode 1, protecting your hope when you're tired, to the next step, which is to give yourself permission to want more. Welcome back to How to Dream. I'm Deedee Cummings, and this is episode 2. You're allowed to want more. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm Deedee Cummings, and I do a lot of things. I'm a therapist, author, attorney, book festival founder, literacy advocate, and entrepreneur. Once at a conference, someone was introducing me to the audience and they added the title Overachiever to my bio. It wasn't a nice title to add, but I realized that many people in life become one thing, whatever that may be. And then they stay that one thing forever. It's not typical to see someone reinvent themselves with almost every decade. I am not an overachiever, but what I am is a person who believes that we have one precious life and one gigantic world to explore. I'm not going to stop learning about me or the world around me, and that has led to something magical. One dream leads to the next dream. Dreams build on each other, and I'm a professional dreamer. My child protection career in the 90s led to me being a lawyer. Being a lawyer led to me being a therapist. Being a therapist led to me being an author. Being an author led to me founding my city's first ever Louisville Book Festival. And founding the book festival led to me becoming an advocate for literacy. Dreams are magical and they never end even after you achieve them. You grow with them and they continue to add meaning and layers to your life forever. In episode 1, we started talking about hope in the meantime. We didn't pretend that we're all fine and we didn't jump straight to goal setting. We stabilized. We talked about how the heaviness of the world and the heaviness of life can shrink your imagination. Not because you're weak, but because you're tired or stressed or both. And we practiced a small, real reset by breathing, naming what we're carrying, shifting just one thought, building our hope by 1%, and taking one step. That's where dreaming starts, with your hope protected. It's almost impossible to dream when your hope is not protected. So in the first episode of the How to Dream podcast, I gave you a link to a completely free book you can download called In the Meantime, Hope, Healing, and Survival for the Tired Heart. It's free, 100% free, and it's a great book filled with all kinds of practical tools written by a licensed therapist to help you keep your hope meter on high. I believe in the power of hope so much that I wrote this book and chose to give it to the world for free. It's so easy to read, so please check it out and share the link to download it with others in your life who you know may also need help with hope in a heavy world. Guys, we are not alone. We have one another. And so today, as a group, I want to ask a deeper question. Once you've survived the last day, even by just a little, once you've protected your hope, even a little, what do you do when you realize you want more? More peace, more freedom, more purpose, more money, more joy, or just more space to breathe. Some of y'all don't even want more like luxury. You want more like relief, more like options, more like a life that fits you. Wanting more is not all about riches and luxury. It's about the life you were destined to live. And I need you to know being okay today and wanting more does not mean you're ungrateful. Wanting more means you're being honest. Okay, I still don't think we're ready to move on to the dreaming part yet. So let's just keep talking about hope for a little bit longer because hope is not fragile, but it is precious. Hope is one of those things that you have to protect on purpose. There are messages everywhere designed to wear your hope down. And I've talked to far too many of y'all to know for certain that some of the messages that made it to you have been effective. Some of the messages we hear are loud, like, be realistic, or people like you don't do that. Now isn't the time, or that's too expensive. Maybe someone told you that's not how the world works. And some of the messages are a little more quiet. People who appear to be doing you a favor say things like, just be happy you've got a job, or stay where it's safe. Don't rock the boat. Don't want too much. But I want to tell you something. Safe is not the same as free. Safe rarely pays college tuition. Safe rarely funds the kind of rest that your body has been begging for. And safe rarely builds a future where you can actually have the luxury of deep, full breaths. And it's not that a job is wrong and stability's not wrong. It's that we've been taught that dreaming is an irresponsible thing, right? When the truth really is dreaming is how you remember you have choices. And I know somebody didn't hear what I said, so I'm going to say it again. Dreaming is how you remember you have choices. Dreaming is how you remember that you're not just here to function, but to build and create something. Let's be real. A lot of us were not trained to dream. We were trained to comply, to perform, to get the grade, to follow the rubric, to raise our hand and stay in line, to stay on top of all the tasks we can't possibly finish in school. I kind of think that's where the idea of homework comes from. To get the safe job and to lay low, to keep your head down and get the work done, and to be grateful. We were trained to work, not to think, and definitely not to dream. And then we graduate and we enter a world that says, bring your energy here, bring your creativity here, give your best years here, give your best ideas here. Make this company's mission your mission. Make this company's dream your dream. So, what happens? People become brilliant at building other people's lives and completely unsure how to build their own. No time to think about that, right? And then at 2 a.m., you're unable to sleep and you find yourself staring at the ceiling and you finally say out loud, there has to be more than this. Sometimes the world responds to that desire with shame, like wanting more is greed or arrogance or even betrayal of the company you serve. But I want you to hear my voice and my testimony clearly. It is absolutely not shameful to want more. In fact, it's human. And for many of us, it's even necessary because you weren't placed here on this earth to be used up. You're here to live. Let me tell you something that happened in my own house. My child told me, I don't want to be a billionaire. There are no ethical billionaires. And I'm listening because I respect him and I respect his mind, but I also recognize something instantly. That phrase, that exact phrase, I had seen it too, floating around online, repeated like some kind of truth pill you're supposed to swallow whole. And I told him, then you be an ethical billionaire. But don't you dare let this world put limits on what you can achieve. So here's what I need you and my child to understand. There's nothing wrong with being well off. There's nothing wrong with having resources. The question is what you do with it. Do you know how many people you could help with $1 billion? Do you know how many schools you could build? How many scholarships you could fund? How many families you could stabilize? How many systems could you change? Sometimes the messaging sounds moral, but it functions like a ceiling. And I'm not telling you everybody should chase billions. That's not what this is about. But I am telling you this: pay attention to the messages that make you smaller. Pay attention to the messages that make you afraid to want more. Pay attention to anything that sounds like you shouldn't even try. If the message that makes it to you says don't or can't or shouldn't, that's not protection, that's limitation. And you were not put here in this time, in this place, to live a limited life. Somehow, some way, you found your way to this very message because you are destined for something that is more than this. This is where I need to give you a little nugget of something that I truly believe in. The dream itself is the evidence. I want you to think about that. Why would you have a dream if it wasn't possible? Why would your spirit keep reaching for something that could never be? I'm not saying it won't take work, and I'm not saying that it won't require courage and a lot of sacrifice and a whole lot of patience. But what I am saying is that that dream was placed on your heart for a reason. It's a gift. And gifts are never given to you to torture you. I promise that's not it. Gifts are given to move through you. So if you're carrying a dream, that dream is not random. It's information, and even more than information, it's direction. And you don't need more proof than that. I want to share something with you that has stayed with me as a part of my dream journey. Several years ago, I saw MJ the Musical on Broadway. And what struck me wasn't just the sheer level of Michael Jackson's talent. It was how many times the people who were closest to him tried to shrink his vision. They said that his vision was too big, it was too expensive, and too impossible. And I actually laughed because it was funny, but it was also painful when Michael Jackson told one of his advisors, I have to act on this dream or God will give my dream to Prince. And oh, wow, the audience just howled. I mean, it's a funny line, right? But the truth under it is real. So many people sit on their dream so long that the dream becomes grief because you were trained to doubt yourself. And so I want to say this to you gently but firmly. Your dream is a gift for you. It's not a gift for your fear or for other people's comfort or for the version of you that stays quiet. It's a gift for you, something for you to build. So be wise with the gift, be grounded, but don't abandon what was given to you. Put your dream in motion. All right, let's do what we did in episode 1. Same format, same grounding for our hearts, but today we're going to use it to give you permission. So let's take a breath in, hold it, let it all the way out. Let's try that again. Take a deep breath in, hold it. Now let it all the way out. Do you remember the framework? It's time to reset. So I want you to ground yourself by just saying, I'm here. I'm allowed to want more. I don't have to apologize for the desires I have to build a better life. Now we're going to name it. Name what comes up when you consider wanting more for your life. Is it guilt, fear, shame? Do you feel grief? What about anger? Is there a voice in your head saying, who do you think you are? Name it. What comes up in your mind and in your gut when you think about wanting more? Now let's shift that. Just shift one thought. Let's move from the thought that it's selfish to want more. And we're going to replace that thought. We're going to shift it to, it's my right to want more. Here's another thought that your mind can hold on to. My wanting more is not about being greedy. It's about freedom. My wanting more is not about being greedy. It's about freedom. Try this mindset shift as well. I can want more and still be a good person. I want you to choose one of those statements that speaks to you the loudest, or if you have one in mind, hang on to that, think about it, and let it take root in your mind. Let's practice building our dream by 1%. Start by answering this. What does more mean for me? What does more mean for me? Not for Instagram, not for other people, for you. More might mean that you have more time. Maybe you'll have more stability. Maybe you'll get more rest or experience more joy. There's nothing wrong with asking for more money because money equals freedom. It equals choices. Maybe you want to travel more or to have more of an impact on the world. Are you seeking more purpose in your life or just more space to be yourself? Now write one sentence and say it out loud. I want more, and fill in the blank. Now we're going to practice taking the step. We're not going to work on the whole plan. Remember, we're doing this gently. So we're not going to work on the whole plan. We're not going from 1 to 100. We're talking about one step that you promise yourself that you will take in 24 hours. This is one step that is something real, something doable. And I'm going to give you some examples because sometimes people get stuck here. They don't know what step they can take that is both doable but also meaningful. So you can practice taking one step by writing a list of what it is you actually want. This might take you 10 minutes of your life, and it's something you do for you. It's important. Write a list of what it is you actually want. How about research one path? You can check out a book at the library, or you can look up ways to help you take steps to get on the road to the life that you want. You can send one email or make one appointment. Open the Notes app on your phone and draft your dream declaration. These kind of things always sound silly, but they are so real. Once you claim your dream, that is a very powerful step that you can take, and you will be instantly more motivated towards moving in that direction. So open the Notes app on your phone and draft your dream declaration. You can read one chapter of the book, How to Dream, or you can ask one person for help. So now say within 24 hours, I will. And then make a promise to yourself. One of those things or something else that you have in mind. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. Remember, it's doable, but something real that will get you motivated to taking a step towards the life you know you deserve. Guess what, friends? You just practiced dreaming. By the way, you can also get one free copy of the first chapter of my book, How to Dream, on the Makeaway Media website. I'll also put it here in the show notes so you can find it easier. And this reminds me of someone that I talk about in the book, How to Dream. I call her Tracy in the book, and I want to read a short passage because it captures what happens when a person finally gives themselves permission. This is not from the first chapter of the book that I give away for free on the Makeaway website, so you're actually getting 2 sneak peeks here completely for free. Tracy had a fine life. She and her husband were homeowners. They had 2 kids, 2 cars, a dog, and a fence. This is what we have been told is the American dream. Once a year, they went on a nice vacation, usually to the beach or to Disney World. A lot of people would kill for this type of annual trip. They always paid for the vacation on a credit card and spent the entire rest of the year paying for the vacation until summer came around and they did it all over again. True, Tracy had the life that many others dream of, but Tracy also found herself wondering internally, somehow, some way, there has to be more for me. Especially every time she paid the monthly credit card bill for the summer vacation that had come and gone several months before. Whenever Tracy had this thought, she heard the voices of many people in her head telling her to quiet that voice. After all, hadn't she achieved the very life that most of us hope exists? Hadn't she beat the game? Hadn't she leveled up to the American dream? Tracy felt ungrateful. These words rang in her head. You are so ungrateful. Where does that come from? What is the root? Is it ungrateful to want more? To want better? Is there a rule about how much we can do and be or see? Is it ungrateful to want to pay off a vacation before you take it? Is it ungrateful to dream of more than 1 week a year away? Or how about 1 week away with the kids and 1 week without the kids? Is that ungrateful? Even greedy? Is it ungrateful to not have to worry about some major life expense looming over your head that might make this the year you don't get to vacation at all? Is it ungrateful to lie in bed at night, stare at the ceiling and wonder, is this what the next 40 years looks like? Is it ungrateful to dream? No, it is not. It is not ungrateful to want more, but this message is delivered to us in 1,000 ways to keep us in worker bee status. Tracy has the life we've all been told is the golden ring. No wonder she felt ungrateful. Meanwhile, the rich get richer, and we're still paying off that credit card debt. I encouraged Tracy to come out of her shell and join a local incubator for women entrepreneurs. Tracy had heard of the incubator group but did not feel she was qualified to join. She had not yet found her passion and had no idea what she could do to start her own business. I encouraged her to attend one meeting, and when Tracy returned to me after that meeting, she was on fire. Her mind was exploding with ideas. She said she had to keep the Notes app open on her phone at all times to record all the thoughts she was having. She was afraid to let any of them slip away, even in the middle of the night. Most of all, Tracy was excited about life, but more than anything else, Tracy wanted to set an example for her children. She wanted to show them that life is magical and anything is possible. Tracy wanted to show her children that life can be anything you make it. Tracy strongly desired that her children would go for it all. So what did that mean? Tracy had to go for it all. 5 years later, Tracy owns her own company, sets her own schedule, never misses one of her kids' games, and has other employees holding down her business when she is not available. Most importantly, she vacations when and where she wants to, with and without the kids, completely debt-free. It's real. I've seen it over and over again, including the testimony of my own journey, yet we never think these dreams can happen for us. What I want you to hear is this. Tracy didn't become powerful because she was fearless. She became powerful because she stopped treating her desire like something to be ashamed of. She took control of her life and used her ideas and her energy to build her dream, not someone else's. We are going to close by practicing our affirmations, another tool that Tracy and I use together, and a crucial part of dreaming. You can use mine or you can write your own. Practice saying them with me. I am allowed to want more. I am allowed to want the most. My dreams are not luxuries. They are a part of my survival. And I will not apologize for the life that I know in my heart I was placed here to live. Think about this prompt until we meet again next week. You can also journal about it, which is a very powerful thing to do. I want you to think about this thought. If I truly believe my dream was a gift, what would I do with it next? If this episode lit something in you, I want you to go deeper with me. Grab my book, How to Dream, and inside that book, there's a QR code that gives you access to a completely free workbook. So you can actually do this dreaming work in real time. You can keep going. You can keep practicing. You can also get a group of friends together and practice together to build accountability and lift each other up. That would be a truly special, powerful thing to do. What a great idea to hold a group of friends like that who dream together in this heavy world. We're going to keep our hope protected and our dreams in motion. Not perfectly, but consistently so that we build momentum. Get the book, download the workbook, and meet me back here next week for the next episode because you are absolutely allowed to want more.